Welcome back to The Reset. I am Shaun Tucker, human performance scientist and authority architect. We are here in the living lab documenting the science, the struggle, and the shift for every high-performance dad and founder who is ready to bridge the gap between their presence and their ambition. Today, I want to talk about something a little bit more sensitive, and that is you need to shield yourself from the shitstorm that surrounds you. What I mean by that is if you have really negative influences in your life, if you are consuming really toxic stuff that's just fueling this neurotic, negative focused version of yourself, you need to stop what you're doing. And I'm going to walk you through the process of what that looks like in order to actually stop it. Because it's easier to continue following that cycle than it is to actually stop it. And you can't really fully stop it. You actually need to change it for something else. So the first thing is actually doing a little bit of an audit. That's the first step. Do an audit. Become aware of what it is that's consuming you. Is it social media? Is it news media? Is it traditional media sources? Like, these things are designed in such a way that you actually fuel it. It fuels you full of whatever you fill yourself with, but it happens at a very unconscious level. So a lot of news, and most news, is fear-based. A lot of it is negative. And if you're consuming traditional news or social media news or whatever it is that you're consuming, understand that that's going to have an impact on your mindset and also your physiological state. So it's going to affect both your psychology and your physiology. That's the first step, is really noticing and auditing what it is that you're taking in. And this, by the way, is not just consumption of content. This is consumption of food as well. So it's what you're fueling your body in terms of language, sound, thoughts, food, you name it, all of those things. It's the environmental consumption. Number 2 is decide what direction you're actually heading. You have to decide. Because if you don't decide, you will remain unfocused and you will just continue to go down this path of indecisiveness or indecision. Do I go this way? Do I go that way? Do I go that way? Do I go this way? That just leads to more scattered and leaked energy over time. So number 2 is decide. Number 3, this one's a little bit untraditional, but it's also in alignment with number 2. Like, you have to go step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 3 is really cut out those people and those influences that you have in your life and replace them with positive ones. This is not about positive psychology or positive reminder. This is actually creating an intentional environment to fuel your growth. So if you have certain people that negatively influence you or bring out the toxic neuroses that is really hard to escape or to distance yourself from, be very clear around the boundaries that you have. Be very clear about setting your intention about who you're becoming. I think that's such an important one. If you cannot remove these people from your life, they might even be your spouse. They might even be your children. They could be your friends. They could be your family. It's not about removing them. It's about being very intentional around what you let them influence you on. Because it's up to you and it's up to us to create the boundary and to actually receive the input. Usually these are people that we trust. So it can be really challenging to create a boundary around that. And you will be triggered. You'll be tested many times. So that's step 3, is become really intentional about what kind of influences you are letting influence you, and be very strict on enforcing and having those boundaries. Number 4 is make protected time for yourself and for your growth, which is completely unshattered or uninfluenced by anyone else. This might be at 4 o'clock in the morning. It could be 2 o'clock in the morning. But have that time where it's just you, maybe your journal, maybe your thoughts, silence time. You're not influenced by, you're still going to be influenced, but you're not influenced heavily by the outside world. The birds are still quiet. There shouldn't be any kids up. There shouldn't be any partners up. If there are, find a quiet space and just go in there and be in there for a certain amount of time. It might just start with 5 minutes. It could be 2 hours. I don't know. It depends what works for you. But find that place and find that path where it's just you and your inner sanctum. Be in that space and allow whatever it is that wants to come through you, come through you. That's step 4. Step 5, this is the last step. Be part of communities and join and look out for communities that are actually in alignment with what you're doing, that actually fuel that step 4. The pathway where they are on a growth path, and you can also be in that pathway too. In the more spiritual cultures, this is known as like a satsang or a get-together, where people are on similar journeys, get together, and they move in that direction. It's why I have my Sunday morning workouts. So if you found that helpful, all those steps, that will seriously transform your life if you let it. But if you have found this episode helpful, I want you to share it with one person, another man who gets it. That brings us to the end of the episode of The Reset. So if you're sick of being a passenger in your own life and you want to start being the architect of your legacy, comment the word reset and I will send you the 7-day integrity reset. Remember that most people wait for their life to change. We are the ones who architect our own choices. Change your state, choose how you show up. I am Shaun Tucker. I will see you in the next one.